Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to Drak Reviews, where we continue to move on in the remaining 2016 titles so that we can move on to the lists. And today is a little bit more of a vlog than anything else. It's more of a check-in review because it's one of the bigger games that I still had left on my agenda that, unfortunately, because of all the other games, I haven't really been able to spend a whole lot of time with, at least as much time as I would like to before reporting back to you guys. But I figured that now that I have a grasp for the situation, I can at least give you guys a check-in, and then later on give you a final review. So here we go. This is my review of World of Final Fantasy. And again, there won't be a final score, and I won't go too much into the various parts that I usually do for a review, mainly because I'm not done with it yet. And when I am, then I will give you guys a final score. People might remember, I've been excited for World of Final Fantasy for pretty much most of this year. I liked the idea when I saw it at first, but when I got to the Drak tries of World of Final Fantasy, some people actually messaged back to me going, it sounds like you have a lot of apprehension with the title and what it was. In that first hour, yeah, I did. Mainly because the first hour or so, I would actually say the first 2 hours, is bogged down in tutorials and basically getting you used to the concept of the game, or at least the gameplay, which is Pokemon, but with stacking and with Final Fantasy elements, obviously. And so, yeah, I was a little bit apprehensive because I was kind of hoping that I would get like little mini parties of my favorite Final Fantasy characters and be able to have some fun there. So I was a little bit apprehensive in the video, but since then, I played quite a bit. And I can already tell you after the second hour, my worries were swept away. Because at that point, I walked into a freaking nostalgia fest. And I have nothing but love for this game right now. I mean, literally just to kind of give you guys a feel, I walked into, or after the Drak tries, where you go to is the Cactuar Express, which takes you to the Kingdom of Cornelia. Or Cornelia in this game, which is the first kingdom you come across in the first Final Fantasy game. And you actually do get to have dialogue with Princess Sarah, so the girl that you saved from Garland. So at that point, it's already a walking nostalgia fest for me, because I love the feel of Cornelia, but I also love... because up until that point in the Drak tries, I hadn't gotten a whole lot of awesome monsters. We got to see the Behemoth, but we only got to see it so that it could basically wipe the floor with me, just to teach me how Murkrifts work. Well, since then, I've been able to capture quite a number of Mirages, and been able to mess around with the stacking system, the Mirage boards, the Mirage Jewels, which you can equip on your on Rain and Lawn, to be able to give them specific abilities, and already I can tell you I'm in love with this game. I love the fact that it feels like a Final Fantasy game, but a more... Basically, this is Kingdom Hearts without the Disney factor. It's Final Fantasy merged on itself. So I already have an awesome conflict with the... I guess it's called the Bahamutian Federation, or something like that. So I like the fact that basically Bahamut is the bad guy. And then I've also been able to have some really cool scenes with summons like Ramu, Ifrit, and Shiva, which already just made me laugh because, you know, there's such an emphasis on the fact that Rain and Lawn don't remember any of Grimoire. And so at that point, when you go to see Ifrit and he starts making jokes about Lawn, and Lawn doesn't get it, but Rain does, that's the other thing that I also like that I didn't really like in the Drak tries, is the constant fourth wall breaking. I was kind of annoyed with it in the Drak tries, but later on it grew on me. It really worked for me. And ever since then, I've been laughing my butt off, especially when we got a tutorial about switches and everybody had to integrate switch into their wordplay. So I am beginning to really like it. But like I said, I haven't really gone too much into the story. And I don't really want to ruin any other major factors so that when I can go into the final reviews, I can go in there objective. But this is more of a check-in than anything else, and I am enjoying the heck out of it. Visually, it's I didn't think I would like the whole Liliken concept where you're little anime versions of yourself, or little chibi versions of yourself. And actually, what's funny is I prefer the Liliken forms to the giant forms when I'm out in Grimoire, because everybody else is Liliken. And so it's a little disappointing when you have to go back into the I don't know how they expect you to say it, like Giant form, because it's giant with a J. I thought when I saw the trailers I would appreciate those forms more, but now I'm playing more with the Lilikens, and really appreciating the artwork that goes into Grimoire, goes into all of the Mirages that I've been able to see thus far. Really great homages to many, many games in the Final Fantasy series. I mean, for crying out loud, I caught a Moo, and Moos don't necessarily even show up, I think, until 5. But then from there on, they actually will show up in every game after that. Or another example was being able to get a little black mage as a Mirage. Yeah, so at one point when you face the 3 summons, you actually get to pick one of them to face because you're too weak. And I picked Ramuh because it seemed at the moment like I was more built to fight him, because I had a lot of earth-based damage that I could do. So I beat him, and I'm really glad I did, because I got a little black mage out of it named Zaps, I think. And I spoiled myself, and I looked like, what would I get from Shiva, and what would I get from Ifrit? And they were just like little mini versions of them. But this one, I got a little black mage out of it. And so I'm glad for my decision. That's amazing. Especially since everything... I didn't think I'd like the cutesy factor, but it's really working on me. I love the Choco Chick, how he has a little egg on his head, and I love the black mage, just because he's a cute little Vivi. He's a cute little... I really am trying very hard not to just go raves on this, but as of right now, World of Final Fantasy has me hooked in ways that it can't possibly even imagine. Visually, it's great. Both Grimoire as well as Ninewood Hills look amazing. The music for both of them is top-notch. I love it. I especially love that in the beginning, this is another thing that happened right after the Drak tries. I wished I would have gotten it in the Drak tries, because it would have been like the point I changed. They gave it a full-on anime opening, and that was amazing to be able to watch, because they integrated the giants, they integrated the Liliken, as well as many, many, many Final Fantasy elements into there, including being able to see some of the cast members that you will unlock as you go through World of Final Fantasy. So visually, audio-wise, gameplay, I'm enjoying the hell out of this game. It's the nostalgic game that I needed this year, or that I needed for 2016 and probably even for 2017. And I am obviously going to be continuing on in this and hoping that this still maintains this momentum, and I hopefully can give a high score to it. But I've already ogled for about 10 minutes, so I'll go ahead and stop rambling here, and that's going to go ahead and do it for my check-in review of World of Final Fantasy. I'm loving it so far, and I look forward to giving you guys the final score when I can get around to it. And that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking this video, leaving your comments. I would love to hear what you guys think of World of Final Fantasy. And of course, I will see you guys next time for the next review.